In today's series of conversations, I have the fabulous Jo Howarth with me. Hello, Jo.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well indeed. We were just saying it's an awful long time since we've actually had a conversation, isn't it?
It's a hugely long time, way too long.
It's got to be like a couple of years.
No.
Well, it
No.
can't. I've not spoken to you since the pandemic started, which was the beginning of last year. I think the last time we spoke was when we had a coffee at the Tickle Trout in Preston.
Oh my goodness me. Sarah Short.
How long is that?
That's way too long ago. I'm going to have to come to Italy now.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like red wine?
Not really, no,
You
but
like white wine?
not really.
Oh, you don't drink wine. Do you not drink?
Drink alcohol.
Oh, well, okay. So that's not going to work then, is it?
No.
The coffee's good, but I don't suppose you drink that either.
No.
Hey ho, you can just eat.
Food, I'll eat. That'll do.
Yeah, I do drink red wine and coffee, and it's all lovely.
Cool.
So, Jo, what's been going on then? Your happiness club was going great guns when we last spoke 2 years ago, but I think it's even greater guns these days.
It is even greater guns these days, which is partly due to the pandemic. Partly because a lot more people had things like stress, overwhelm, anxiety, depression come to the fore, which is what I help people with. But also partly because my business has been on a bit of a roller coaster, shall we say, along with lots of other people's businesses, I think, over the last couple of years. And it made me refocus properly, which is something that I know you and I have had multiple conversations about in the past. But it made me focus in properly on what I wanted to offer and how I wanted to offer it. And it made me focus in on the membership club side of the business fully. And that has paid dividends, which is super.
So let's go back to the beginning of the pandemic then. So
Yeah.
there we were going, yeah, there seems to be some odd disease going around in China. And then the next thing it's in Italy.
Yeah.
And we're all thinking, oh, well, that's a much different demographic to ours. You know, we're younger and fitter and healthier, and it won't come here and it won't come here. And then 23rd of March arrives and we're locked down. Boom, gone. So what happened for you?
So at that time, I would say at least 80% of my business income was from training. It wasn't from the membership club. It was from
Face-to-face.
resilience workshops and schools programs and things like that. So all of that completely disappeared overnight, obviously. Bookings that were in the diary got taken out of the diary. People wanted refunds, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that was quite a hairy time for the Happiness Club as a business. I actually came within a hair's breadth of closing the business in June 2020. It's kind of hard to remember times and dates, but yeah, June 2020, I think I came this close to having to close the business.
That must have been very stressful.
It was quite stressful. Mostly because I didn't know what the bloody hell I was going to do if I didn't do what I do.
Well, I was going to say, you've been doing what you do for so long. Who are you if you're not Jo the Happiness Club person?
I know, that was it. It was like, well, what the hell will I do? Will I go and work in Tesco, or what will I do? I don't know. And I put a post somewhere. I think it was in like a fairly small business Facebook group that I'm a member of, going, oh, holy crap, I think I'm about to lose my business. And a lady that I have known for many years through the amazing Biz Mums network messaged me privately and said, no.
Don't do that.
That's not happening. That isn't happening. What do you need? And bless her, she gave me enough money, lent me enough money, obviously, to get me over the hump. Because one of my biggest problems at the time was that I couldn't get a bounce back loan. I could, but the bank I was with, who I'm no longer with, had a bit of a customer service glitch, shall we say. And yeah, it was bizarre.
And stressful.
But yes, this lady basically saved my business. She said, no, there's no way you're going out of business. You can't not do the work you do. So eternal great gratitude to that lady. But the whole thing then obviously made me go, okay, right, so training's out, at least for now, because even though I could do it online, the corporates I was talking to had all their budgets frozen. It was just, all their budgets were shrunk drastically, so only the essentials. I mean, half the HR people I was talking to were having to put their own workshops together themselves.
Yeah, they've suddenly become trainers.
Yeah, yeah, because there was no budget for anything. So yeah, it was a very bizarre time. So yeah, it made me focus in on the club itself, the membership club, which has always been part of the business and is obviously the name of the business, but wasn't our main source of income at all. And so
what is the Happiness Club? What is it? What is
the Happiness Club is a monthly membership club. We used to operate on Facebook. We now have our own app, which is very amazing, which works a bit like a Facebook feed, but it's a mental health support service. It teaches people how to look after their own mental health and emotional well-being. So it helps people deal with stress, anxiety, depression, overwhelm, with just that horrible little voice in the back of your head that tells you you're awful. It helps people learn how to navigate all of that, and live a happier life, to open themselves up to receiving more happiness, basically, which I believe is the most important thing in life, bar none.
Well, if you're not happy, you're not anything, are you?
No. And I mean, I started off as a therapist. I was a jobbing therapist, and really whatever anybody came to me for, what they wanted in the changing of that thing was to feel happier. So for my money, that makes happiness the most important thing in life. So
well, I don't know anybody who would choose to not have it.
There you go. See, so I mean, wine might come a close second, but
for some of us,
for some people, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
and Italian food for others, maybe.
Yes.
But to be fair, the wine and the Italian food equal happiness, so it's all.
That's it. So there you go, sorted.
So you say it teaches people how to feel less so. How does it do that?
So we have what we call our daily strategies. So every morning on the app, we release the daily strategy in written form and in video. And the daily strategy is just a short something. It's a tool, a technique, a thought, a story that has given us some kind of learning or helped us in some way. So it might be a straightforward breathing exercise. It might be a positive mindset exercise. It might be a story about my life that's given me some kind of insight that's helped me overcome a hurdle in some way. And so the idea is that the members read or watch the daily strategy and do what it asks them to do for that day. And gradually over time, what that does is just start to change the way you think about yourself, about life, about the universe. It starts to help you put things in perspective rather than buying into the drama or the worry or the anxiety about something. Helps you put things into perspective. One of my favorite pieces of feedback ever was a message from a member saying she'd been a member for about 2 months, and she sent me this message and said, "I cannot believe you have changed my perception of everything. You've changed my entire perception of life in 2 months." I was like, that's ace. That's exactly what the club is. Yes. Yeah, that's it.
That's brilliant.
So we have the daily strategies, and then we run a webinar every month on a subject that the members tell us they want us. So August's webinar happened a couple of days ago, and it was about neurodiversity, because we have a few members who know they are neurodiverse, who have been diagnosed, but haven't known for years, and have had anxiety, depression, and have been treated for those things, but it's not really helped. And that's because the underlying cause is neurodiversity, which has never been diagnosed. So the webinar on Sunday night was all about that, which was absolutely fascinating to hear how it differs in men and women. I could go on about it forever, but I didn't run that one, obviously, because I'm not an expert in neurodiversity. So we do it on, the webinar is about whatever the members want us to talk about, basically. And then the members get 24/7 access to a qualified therapist. So it's not full-blown therapy, but it is ad hoc, in the moment support. So I've been on the phone this morning to a couple of members who have called with whatever's happening in their lives right now and just wanting some help or advice, or to offload, really. Sometimes all anyone wants is someone to listen to what they've got to say on the other end of the phone.
Kind of like your own personal Samaritans, but people that you know.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the thing, is they feel like they know us because there's a team of us that manage that side of it and that do the daily strategy. So they feel like they know us already because they see us every morning in the daily strategy. So it's not like picking the phone up to a stone cold stranger. It's, and it always makes me smile, because when it's me that answers the phone, I always go, oh, hi, Jo. They're always really surprised that it's me that's picked the phone up.
Yeah. I have that when people book into my diary to talk about working with the Coaching Revolution, and we have a Zoom call and they go, oh, it's you. And I say, of course it's me. I feel like I know you, Sarah. It's like, that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that people feel like they know me. And in fact, I spoke to a member of the club a couple of months ago before the summer holidays hit, and she was quite nervous about speaking to me. And I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "I just feel a bit starstruck." I know. I was like, "Oh, bless your cottons." I said,
Yeah.
But I see you every day on a screen, so I feel like you're kind of famous, and I'm really not famous. But
I had that happen to me at Chester Bismons.
oh, did you?
So Chester Bismons, 40 women arrived for this session, and the whole 2 hours was taken up with their introductions, which was really funny. And I was on the clock, so I'm like, eek, eek, eek. I can stay for 2 hours and then I've got to go. And anyway, long story short, one lady moved towards me as this very lengthy introduction was going on, and eventually she's sitting next to me, and I said, oh, hello, and she went, I'm in awe. I've watched every single video you've ever made. I was like, yeah, you don't need to be. Oh, I put my knickers on one leg at a time just to you. Yeah, there's nothing special about me. But yeah, it was very funny.
Bless you. Yeah, it is. That's the kind of reaction you get, which is lovely, but also sometimes for me it's a barrier, because actually, no, I'm a person, and speak to me about your stuff, because that's what I'm here for. I'm a therapist. That's what I am by trade. So, but
Yeah,
it's ace.
it is. Those very tiny moments that happen every now and again make you realise how hard it must be to be somebody famous.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like, you wouldn't want it, would you?
No, never. I've just finished reading Michelle Obama's book, Becoming,
Mm.
and it blew me away. I'm officially in love with Michelle Obama now, but I admired her before, but oh my word. But the way she describes the loss of their freedom, and not in a victim way.
No, she's not whinging. No.
No, she's not complaining about it, but it must be just so surreal to
Yeah.
be in that situation. Yeah.
I remember years ago when I lived in Botswana, there was an American guy working there who I was talking to, and the group of friends that I belonged to, the parents of one of them used to hang out with the guy who was the president, because it's a very small population. Everybody pretty much knows everybody, and they went off doing some microlighting or something. And this American guy was absolutely fascinated that the president of the country would be allowed to go microlighting. Because what if he died? What if there was an accident? What if this? And I was like, and that was like a glimpse into, whoa, so what? The American president lives in a bubble? And the answer to that question is yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was one of the bits that blew me away most about the book, was about how literally, and she describes them going to the theatre in New York one night, and her being in the back of the car and thinking how empty the streets were. And then she realised that's because they'd all been closed off so that she and her husband could drive to the theatre. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, bizarre.
Surreal. But anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so back to the Happiness Club. So your face-to-face stuff, is that going to come back now that things are opening up
Oh,
again?
it's starting to, yes, and it has gradually, you know, as things have opened up and closed down and opened up and closed down. Budgets have been there with my corporate clients again. So, so we've started delivering webinars as opposed to in-person workshops. So that's been, I would say, probably since beginning of this year, maybe the end of last year, that was starting to come back. So that's good. But I think it gave me a huge opportunity and a huge shove in the right direction for where my focus needed to be. Yeah, that's the puppy. That's what I wanted to say. A wake-up call for where my focus needed to be, actually, in order for me to grow the business that I want to grow. So, and actually, I have to thank you, Sarah Short, because that luncheon that you have described, where we last chatted, you said to me, so have you ever thought about, you know, having corporate members of the Happiness Club? And I was like, no, not really. I'd never even thought about suggesting the Happiness Club as a service for corporate companies. And off the back of our conversation, I put together the corporate packages, which we were having quite a big success in promoting before the pandemic hit. And then obviously it went to pants. But we have, just as of about 3 weeks ago, we have just signed our first corporate client. So they start at the beginning of October. So thank you very much, because without that lunch and
You're
your
welcome.
suggestion, that
You're
would never have happened.
But I remember having a chat with you, and you said to me, why do you want to, because we were doing a little bit of work together, weren't you? You said, why do you want to work with me? And I said, because I believe in what you're doing. I believe in it. I believe in this happiness thing. And it's interesting because I am very fortunate in that I have only ever had a couple of brushes with depression.
Mm.
One was postnatal and one was post-divorce. And they were awful, but they were reasonably short-lived. And I am fortunate in that I have a good network, family and friends network, and it didn't all go horribly wrong. You know, I got better, and as a human being, I am nauseatingly optimistic, quote unquote, friend of mine. I'll take that. I'll take that. But I know that other people aren't.
Yeah.
I only have to look around me to know that other people aren't. And I think I hear people talking about how happiness is a right. And I agree with it, but it's one of those things that's really easy to say. But if you're struggling to achieve it, you know, there's just words, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, what do you mean it's a right? How do I make that happen? And what I really like about the work that you do is that you make it happen.
Well, and for me, that's the point of the club, is which I know that you know, but I mean, because I do put those messages out. Happiness is our birthright. It absolutely is. It's our natural state of being. It's there as long as we allow it to be there. It's that. But when you, like you say, when you're in the depths of something like depression or anxiety, you read those and go, well, how the actual what's it do I do that? Do you know what I mean? It's like, but that, for me, that's the point of the club, is that it is something. It's something every day. It was so important to me when I started the club that I gave the members. I mean, I started the club with 7 members, bless them, some of whom are still members, but that I gave them something every single day, because for me, the bit that was missing in the therapy journey was that. It was, and that was what was missing for me. I mean, I credit my original therapist with helping me transform my life completely. Absolutely 100%, no worries whatsoever, totally, yes. And as a therapist, I've worked with people whose lives have been transformed as a result of the work that we've done together, 100%. But for me, I found it really, really difficult when I was first having therapy to come out of this therapy room where I'd been given understanding and perspective and help and advice and support, and came out, you know, floating and feeling, well, hey, I can manage it. And within 24 hours, you'd be like, oh, holy crap, I've forgotten everything that amazing person said to me, and I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with this situation or that situation. And you repeat the same patterns of behavior over and over again, and you go, why am I doing the same things again? Oh my God. And it's just, so for me, when I started seeing my own clients and I was having conversations with them like that, where they were like, look, this is ace, because when I'm here with you, it all makes perfect sense and I can see it all really clearly. When I go out into my real life, it all goes fuzzy and muddy and muddly and I can't see it anymore. And that was part of the thinking behind the club, was that it was someone every day. It sounds a bit cheesy, but I do say to people on a regular basis, I see the club really very much as me putting my arms around everyone every morning and saying, it's okay, I've got you, it's all right, we're gonna do this together. Just have a go at this today and try that tomorrow and try that the next day. And
I think of your club as like Jo in your pocket.
yes.
It's like pocket Jo Howarth, to be removed and looked at on your phone as and when required.
Yeah. And I do get people saying to me, do you know, I was in this situation the other day and I could hear your voice in my head saying, stop it.
Perfect.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's it, isn't it? Totally.
Yeah. So what's going to happen next?
So next, we are going to expand on our corporate memberships. I'm beyond chuffed that we have landed our first corporate client. It's going to more than triple. In fact, it's probably going to quadruple the membership numbers of the Happiness Club, which is humongously amazing. So now I've proved that I can do that. Now there's really no limit, is there? So we're looking at thousands, tens of thousands of members over the next couple of years through the corporate memberships. That's where I'm headed. That's where my focus is now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so if somebody's watching this and thinks, actually, I would like Jo in my pocket, how do they do that?
How do they do that? The best place to do that is through our website, which is thehappinessclub.co.uk, which explains what you get for your membership and it gives you the link to sign up as an individual member. If you are a corporate person and you want to be lovely and give this kind of service to all of your people, then the best way is to contact me directly, which is my email, Jo, at thehappinessclub.co.uk. I have to say J-O because so many people spell my name J-O-E.
With an E on it, yes. Yeah. Doesn't have an E.
It doesn't. That's not how you spell Jo.
Jo, it's been an absolute pleasure.
As always, to speak to you, Sarah Short. Thank you.
I have very much enjoyed talking to you.
Yes,